Well, I am still alive. I'm still around. I'm still here. Even though it has been a very long time since I have posted on YouTube, I wanted you to know that I'm still here. And as is usually the case with me, very often when I'm going to post something, it's because I feel triggered in a certain sense, or something has occurred that I feel I need to talk or I need to share my thoughts, excuse me, or my perspective. And today is, well, I'm gonna try and change this real quick. Today is no different. Um, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about something that recently occurred. Yes, chance. I'm back. It's been a while, but I've just spent a lot of time doing some other things, and so yeah, so it's been a while. But and yeah, anyhow, so let's go ahead and get into it. So if you recall from some things I've said back in the day, I started attending Parkside Church with Pastor Alistair Begg back in May of 2023. I was a big fan, am still a big fan of Alistair. When I was an Adventist, I listened to Alistair Begg. He actually he influenced my preaching style many years ago. There was nothing I loved better than when I could, in a sermon, quote some popular lyric that a person or the audience might know to make some spiritual point. This is something that if you listen to Alistair, you know that he does on a very regular basis. I had the opportunity, even after I left Adventism, I ran into Alistair and his wife at the airport here in Cleveland and kind of spoke to him briefly about my departure from Adventism and how much I had respected and appreciated his ministry. That night, he and his wife both invited me to Parkside. I appreciated it, but I think I was attending another church at the time, or for some reason, I decided I didn't want to go because it was too far of a drive. This was the rationale. But in May, I had this God moment and made this decision that I was starting that following Sunday. I was going to go. And I'm happy to say I really don't think I've missed a Sunday apart from being out of town, or because of sickness or something like that. So, and it's been a real blessing to be at Parkside. And between you and me, there will be a time I will seek membership there. And yeah, so I think it was around October. It was around of October of this year that on a Sunday evening there I went to the evening service, and Alistair spoke briefly about an interview he had done. And it was the first I'd heard about it, but during the talk he said that he had told the story during this interview. He had told the story of a grandmother who had reached out to him because the grandmother, um, and I know now more details about the story, but the grandmother was reaching out to Alistair. I believe maybe she had reached out through a letter initially, and then at some point in time, I think there was a phone call between Alistair and the grandmother was basically reaching out because her granddaughter was going to be getting married, and it was going to be an LGBTQ wedding. I have no idea the gender. I don't know which of the letters represents this daughter, whether she's lesbian, whether I don't know. It doesn't matter. But what Alistair said during the interview was that he had talked to her at length. Now, I think that there's a couple important points that should be made at this time. Oh boy. Guys, I'm going to pick this up later. I promise you. I promise you. Chance, I'm sorry, but I have to run. But I promise I'll be back. To everybody else, my apologies, but I will pick this up. You have my word.